Brexit activist Darren Grimes has won an appeal against a £20,000 fine imposed by the Electoral Commission for his activity during the 2016 referendum. Darren, who was 22 at the time of the referendum, was fined by the Electoral Commission in connection with his student Brexit group Believe. The Electoral Commission fined Darren last year after concluding that he had wrongly reported almost £700,000 of spending. But now that Darren has won and it's all over for now, Darren has said that I feel completely elated and I just feel a deep sense of gratitude to everyone who allowed me to get this far. The judge acknowledged himself that I am on a very limited financial means, which I think translates in legal speak as having nothing at all. I couldn't have done this without the donations of about 3,000 people. But before we start talking about the Electoral Commission and this bureaucratic body and the flaws of this system, let's talk about how certain Remainers have completely lost their mind when it comes to this issue, and how what we've noticed after the referendum was that Remainers don't actually respect the democratic system that we have in this country. And with this situation, we also discovered that they don't really respect the rule of law and the legal system either. Without knowing the full facts at the time when the process was still going on, we had a number of Remainers accusing Darren of something that he hasn't actually done. Let's start with Owen Jones. Astonishing. Darren Grimes, a man so dishonest he's been fined £20,000 by the Electoral Commission for breaking electoral law, tweets a lie and then just keeps it there. And then we'll move on to Alastair Campbell. In response to a tweet that Darren has sent, he said, "But she'll visit you in prison. Mums love their little rascals." And finally, James O'Brien. "You should get a new solicitor. You're in this position because you broke the law. They should understand this even if you're pretending not to." So apparently all these people were experts when it comes to the legal system, and they've already decided that Darren was guilty. But that wasn't everyone. We also had ordinary Remainers activists going around saying things like this. "Retweet if you want Darren Grimes to go to prison. I have never wanted anything more than to see you behind bars. This day will come. Grimes for jail." That's just a few selected tweets that we found recently about this situation. But now that it's all over, let's hear from Darren Grimes himself.
The hardest moment of this entire 3 years for me was when my mum said she would sell the house that she bought under right to buy, an ex-council house. And she doesn't have to do that now. You know, it's looking like the Commission will actually have to pay me costs for my legal challenge. And I'm absolutely delighted. I don't actually think this is, and I might appear verbose and a bit grandiose maybe, but I think this is actually a victory for the 17.4 million as well, because there's been a massive smear against that vote, and the courts turned around and said that all of the mad conspiracy theories, so-called whistleblowers, were full of contradictions, and that the Commission didn't follow due process and didn't give me a fair hearing. And I actually sobbed in that courtroom yesterday. I felt a bit pathetic, especially when the press were there. £500,000, it's estimated that they've spent already.
And that's taxpayers' money.
That's taxpayers' money on a Treasury Council, so a top QC. And can you imagine how many more hundreds of thousands it would be if they take this to the Court of Appeal?
Well, but hopefully we're still waiting to hear an apology from all these people, especially the big name activists, including Owen Jones and Alastair Campbell and everyone like those people, to actually come out and admit defeat and say sorry to Darren and his family. But now if we focus on the Electoral Commission and the role that this organisation actually has. On their website it says, "We are the independent body which oversees elections and regulates political finance in the UK. We work to promote public confidence in the democratic process and ensure its integrity." I mean, if you say so. But so far, especially when it comes to this situation in this case, you haven't done any of this. This is all part of the establishment and the fact that they just fail to accept defeat when it comes to Brexit and the EU referendum. And there are a number of people that work in the Commission and places like that that is still part of the state. and these people have been causing trouble since day one. But today is a happy day. Not only Darren has won his case, which is another small victory for the Brexit cause, today is also Darren Grimes' birthday, so happy birthday, and let's hear the last few words from Darren himself.
Yet the Commission still saw fit to issue an excessive fine and to spend almost $500,000 in taxpayer cash pursuing me through the courts. This raises serious questions about its conduct both during and after the referendum. Today's verdict is a victory against the Remain establishment that has done all it can to try and discredit the biggest electoral victory in this country's history. The powerful and vested interests in this country don't like the idea of the people taking back control. This victory is for every one of the 17.4 million who dared to defy the doomsayers and who want the referendum to be respected. There's been a well-funded, coordinated campaign against me and those that have stood up to the Remain establishment, and today they have lost. I just hope that their attempts to overturn our democratic structures don't put more people off from getting involved in politics. It's vital that people from my generation get involved in democracy and help shape the future of our country. And I hope that the Electoral Commission's actions do not put young people off from engaging in politics.
Before we wrap up, I want to say a special thank you to all my subscribers and the supporters of this channel. Last night we finally hit 30,000 subscribers on this channel, so again, thank you. Also, before we go, there's a tiny bit of a new competition that I want to do. If you could invite 5 new friends to subscribe to this channel, and once they've done that, make sure you put in the comment section their usernames, all 5 of them. I'm organising a drink reception, a free drinks event in Westminster in central London with a guest speaker. So out of a number of you that you'll be, if you take part in the competition, we'll pick a few winners. You'll be invited as well as your 5 friends that have subscribed, and we could all meet in person and keep going from there. So make sure you do that, and as usual, don't forget to subscribe and click on the notification bell next to it, and I'll see you tomorrow with a new video.